Seriously though, I'm here to help you get into the rush. But that's it. I'm dead serious.
Whatever you say, Jeff.
So hi guys, welcome to another review video, and today we have one of the most sought after laptops in the market currently, business laptop that is. This is the Dell Inspiron 7420, and this is how it looks like. See here, it's a Core i5 processor, 12th generation. You'll see more about the details when you get to see the specs. For a long time, Dell have been producing, especially the Inspiron models, they've been producing very substandard machines. But with the one we have here, the Inspiron model, at least it's almost to the level of the Dell XPS models and the higher end models of the Dell Latitudes. Because even from far, if you just have a look at it, even without touching, because I'm the one holding it at the moment, we have the body design. It's of aluminium. We have aluminium chassis here, silver in color. So it's very, very strong and compact. Then what you saw me doing at the initial part, it means this is a 360 convertible machine. You can convert it two in one. Use it in tent mode like this, use it in tablet mode like this, or use it as your normal day-to-day machine at that position. And so the screen is 14-inch. We have a 14-inch display on this one, and it's weighing around 1.5 kilograms. That is about 3.3 pounds. Not so bad. And as usual, let's just start with the ports we have. So on the right hand side, we have the audio jack port right here. Then you have USB Type A port 3.2. Then we have full size smart card reader over here. So you won't need to have any converters to use smart card reader from your camera to this machine. Then on the left hand side, we have HDMI port. Then we have two display ports. You can see here the labels, two display ports. There's still Type-C ports, Thunderbolt ports. Actually, you can charge your laptop from either of these ports, which is so interesting. So you have two crucial Type-C ports, Thunderbolt ports, that can be used for charging, can be used for display, and high-speed data transfer with these two ports. Then you have, if you insert the charger here, you have indicator for battery icon, or if the battery is charging, this is where the indicator is. Then on this other side, there's nothing else. It's very slim and sleek. Remember, it's very light, around 1.5 kilograms. Then here we have, you can see the design is somehow like for those high-end gaming machines. You see how the fan ventilation has been designed. So this is where we have outflow of air from the machine. Then underneath it here we have another very big ventilation for intake of air to the machine. Then as usual, where we have these two rubbers, it's raised to a certain depth, you can see there, so that when you place it on the table, you have enough room for air circulation underneath the machine. They also help the machine to have proper grip on the table so that it doesn't slide off easily. One other interesting thing about the hinge, which might not be visible through there, is that to realize if you flex this machine like this, then you see what happens around here. If you do like this, you see this part gets risen up as this part goes down. So it means when you're using it on the table at this angle, then you'll have this part lifting the lower part of the machine upwards so that you have enough room for air circulation underneath the machine. Despite the machine being X360 model, we have a very strong hinge right here. It's very stiff actually and very flexible. You see, it's not the same on some of the machines that we've reviewed, because normally with X360 machines, they normally have issues right and around where we have these hinges. But for this one, it's pretty stiff and pretty recommendable. Then on the keyboard side now, this is so interesting. See how the keyboard is. The one that I have has a different keyboard language, which might be different from the one you have, because these keyboards, most of them are designed depending on the country or the destination where they're going to be used. So mine has a different keyboard language to the one that you might have. But to add something on the keyboard, see, if you try to press the keys like this, the travel distance is just quite okay. It's not too noisy. Yeah, we have very soft keys. Just with a small amount of pressure, you get to press them up and down. See how they spring. Then this keyboard is backlit. We have the backlit icon right over here, which is so crucial for machines. If you press on it once, then you'll have full backlit levels. Yeah, it's visible from there. But if you press on it again, then you have dim. Then finally, if you press on it again, the backlit goes off. So you have backlit icon there. You have the volume shortcut keys over there. We have home key as usual. Nothing interesting on the keyboard. The only fault that I found with this keyboard is that in between the keyboard, the spaces that we have, it's a bit weaker. You see, if you press on it like this, it's like it's sinking. So that was the only disadvantage that I found with the keyboard. Otherwise, typing with it, it's pretty much okay. Then another interesting aspect is right here. You see, we have the power button over here. Then this is the fingerprint scanner. So it means we have the fingerprint scanner right on the power button. The advantages of having the fingerprint on the power button is that let's assume that the machine is on sleep mode and you want to turn it on. So when you'll be turning it on by trying to press on the power button, you'll be signing into the laptop instead. So let's try and do that because I already set the fingerprint scanner. So let's just see how fast the fingerprint respond on this one, because most of these machines you find we have fingerprints, but they are not as responsive as they should be. They are sometimes too slower and we tend to use the pins instead. So let me just give it a try. See how fast that was. I think it's actually much faster than some of the phones that you're using. If that's true, let me know in the comment section. If it is not true, let me know in the comment section too. So therefore we are logged in. We have a very nice screen over here. You can see the screen is edge to edge. See the screen coverage over here. We have very thin bezels on the right hand side. Then on the top, they've also, top and bottom, they've tried to reduce the bezels as compared to the previous versions. You can see how it is. What I really loved about this machine is that we have very good sRGB coloration on this machine. Actually, you have 100% sRGB color ratio on this screen panel. That means that if you're doing things like, maybe let's assume you're doing photo editing or video editing, then you'll have the colors as crispy and clear as they should be. If it is red, you get to see the red, the actual red that you want to see. If it's yellow like what we have on Chromia, then you'll see that actual yellow color. So the screen resolution as usual, you just come over here. Let me just, okay. So the screen resolution, come to display settings. Go there, then have a look. We have 1920 by 1200. That is a full HD screen panel. The refresh rate is 60 Hz, nothing special. There you can see 60 Hz refresh rates. Be sure that you have a very nice screen that is worth it over there. Then another thing that I was forgetting is the trackpad over here. Look how big the trackpad is. Very big trackpad. And we have a glass on top of this. Remember, this is aluminum chassis, but now we have a glass pad right over here. I think the function of this glass pad is, one, to ensure that this surface over here doesn't get worn out easily, even the trackpad surface. Then two, it's to avoid those, you normally see those scenarios whereby you have your laptop plugged in and maybe you're trying to type in something with your hands, then your hands get to touch on these edges of the machine, you get those shocks. Yeah, so it's like to make it shock proof so it doesn't shock your hands. This trackpad, it also supports single hand control or multi gestures. You can use your two fingers just to zoom in, like what's happening on the screen there. You zoom in and zoom out with your two fingers. Let me try, yeah, see there. Then you can use still your three fingers to scroll the screen. Let me just do that. See, two fingers scroll. Yeah, you can use your three fingers to swipe in between open Windows tabs and the rest. You won't need to use your right hand this side, then you do that will get you slow. So that's something advantageous about the trackpad that we have over here. Another advantageous thing is that despite it being big, let's assume you're typing, it has those what we call anti-thumb detections. So if maybe your thumbs get to be on this surface like it is right now, you see there's nothing moving on the screen. Yeah, there's nothing moving on the screen, but if you use your fingers, then you see it's responding, but it won't respond on thumb. Much has been said about that. Now let's get to see the most interesting features of this machine, because we can't just have something like this without talking about the processor or the graphic cards and what it has in store for us. And with that, we are not going to use the normal way of going through Control Shift. Then we come to the Performance tab to see all the interesting factors of this machine. But instead on this one, we are going to turn it off. Then let's turn it off. Then you go through the BIOS, because we have a graphical BIOS that is opposed to what we had in the traditional machines. And let's just get to the BIOS, see what we have there. So when you turn it on, for Dell, get to the BIOS using the F2 key. Let's give it some time to boot up. F2 key. Yeah, now it's getting to the BIOS, preparing. We have the BIOS. This is very interesting. I want you to be very keen here, because you'll get to see all the specs that you want to see or that you want to know about concerning this Dell Inspiron 7420. Here's the model right over here. We have the overview here. You can see the model is Dell Inspiron 147420 2-in-1 machine. BIOS, price tag, those things are not important. Access tag. And the manufacture date is, see here, we have it's 12/26/2022. That was the manufacture date of this machine. You see here the battery. We have the battery around there. So for the battery, you can see the battery level we currently have 70% is discharging. The health over there is excellent. So you can know the status of your battery through the BIOS of most Dell machines. You can know if it's healthy, excellent, or good, or it needs servicing. So for the processor, first and foremost, you can see here it's 12th gen Core i5 1235U, maximum clock speed of 4.4 gigahertz over there. That is so powerful. Then you have minimum clock speed of 0.4 gigahertz. What I love about this minimum clock speed is that if you're using this machine under not so heavy workload, then you'll be operating at this minimum clock speed, so it won't get to overheat. And the fan speed, the machine won't get to be that loud, yeah, because it's operating at minimum clock speed. Then the current clock speed, or the base clock speed that we have over here, you can see 3.16 gigahertz. Yeah. Then here, very interesting, and this is only found on these machines from actually 11th gen, 12th gen onwards. So you see here we have core count. You have 2 plus 8. This means with this machine it is hybrid in nature. We have 2 power cores, and then you have 8 efficiency cores. So the power cores, those are performance cores, sorry. So for the 2 performance cores, that means that if you're doing heavy tasks that demands a lot of power, then it will switch to the 2 performance cores. Then if you're doing light tasks like browsing, analyzing data, then you'll use the efficiency cores. So it means it will be switching the processor depending on the workload that you're giving it. Another interesting factor here, let me just scroll down the memory, because it's also, see the memory right over here, memory. The memory installed is 8 GB, you can see the memory available is GB. Then the memory speed is 32 megahertz. So we have a single channel mode over there. Now you see here we have DIMM slot 1 with 8 GB of RAM, then we have DIMM slot 2 empty. So it means you can be able to upgrade the RAM on this machine from 8 GB to 16, or from 16 to 32 GB of RAM, because we have 2 memory slots over there for the RAM. For the devices now, number 1, we have a panel. Remember the screen panel, see here it's full HD panel, 14-inch. Then the video controller, you have Intel HD graphics, which is also very powerful for 4K video watching and entry-level 4K video editing. Then you have the video memory being 64 MB. This is a bit low, but not that so bad because you can adjust this in some settings. Then Wi-Fi, we have wireless internet, wireless Wi-Fi capabilities. Now we also have the Bluetooth there. The native resolution of the screen, remember, it was 1920 by 1200 as we had talked earlier. Then there's something else here that I want you to see, maybe performance now. So you see the performance here, there's some things that you can adjust. Yeah, see multi-core support, so you can select all cores. Then multi-atom cores, now you can decide if you want to use all the cores or you want to use 0, 1, 2, 7 cores. It all depends on you, but you can adjust all these things from the BIOS. Having looked at all that, now it's time to make a conclusion on this machine, because remember, I've used it for a week now and I've tried to run some tests on it, on most of the basic stuff that you want to do for a machine. Remember, this is a business class machine, but still, despite being business class laptop, you can still use it to play like entry level games. You can use it to edit your photos properly with Adobe Premiere Pro. You can use it to edit your videos with Adobe Premiere Pro now, or Photoshop. All those applications, you can use them with this machine smoothly. Yeah, but remember, it's just for entry level video editing and the rest. But for professional work, business functions like analyzing data analysis, if you're doing things like programming, if you're doing things like what I have forgotten, any other thing that I've forgotten, maybe let me know in the comment section. But remember, with this kind of processor on this machine and with this kind of ventilation, it means that this machine can handle so many not so heavy tasks, but heavy duty tasks. Finally, the battery duration of this machine, how long does it to charge? And having used it for the whole week, I've realized that because it's still new, actually this is still very, very new. Yeah, so on full charge, it lasted for around about 12 hours. That was almost more than a day of work. Yeah, 12 hours from morning until almost midnight. If you do heavy tasks like video editing, then the battery won't last that much, because it was lasting around 5 hours, which is not so bad still. It can hold you up for a day if you're doing video editing like in bits. So 5 hours is not that bad. Another thing that I really loved about it is the charging speed. You can be able to charge this laptop from 0 to 80% in just 1 hour. So if you're somebody who maybe want to use your machine in places where there's insufficient or you have constant power outages, then this is actually a machine for you, because the battery holds power for long and you can be able to still charge the battery faster within a short duration of time. That is the end of this review, and if you find this review so helpful to you guys, don't forget to leave a like and don't forget to leave a comment, and finally don't forget to subscribe, because this is the account that will only get to see the review of such laptops. Let's meet in the next review, guys. Bye bye.